When she woke up, she was on her side and she felt warm all over, sleepy. There was someone sitting next to her, a boy, and she blinked twice and realized that it was Shane. Shane was in her bedroom. No, wait. This wasn't a bedroom. It was somewhere else. Emergency room, he said. She must have looked confused. Damn, Claire. Warn a guy before you do a face plant on the floor next time. I could have looked taller or and caught you or something. She smiled. Her voice came out sounding lazy and slow. You caught Gina. That was funny. So she said it again. You caught Gina. Yeah. Your eyes are kind, you know. And they called your parents. It took her a little while to realize what he just said. Parents? She repeated and tried to lift her head. Oh, ow! Not good. Not so much. Mom and Dad were pretty freaked to hear you become a lab accident. The campus cops forgot to mention the part where Gina deliberately threw acid on your back. They seemed to think it was just one of those funky accidents. Was it? She asked. Accident? No way. She meant to hurt you. Colette poked at the ugly blue hospital gown she was wearing. Killed my shirt. Yeah, pretty much. Shane looked pale and tense. I've been trying to call Michael. I don't know where he is. I don't want to leave you alone here, but he's okay, she said thoughtfully and closed her eyes. I'm okay too. She thought she felt his hand on her hair. A second of light, sweet pressure. Yeah, Shane said. You're okay. I'll be here when you wake up. She nodded sleepily, and then everything faded into a lemon yellow haze, like she was lying in the sunlight. Ouch! Waking up was not fun. No hazy, druggy lemon sunlight. This was more like a blowtorch burning on her back right at the shoulder blade. Clay whimpered and burrowed into her pillow, trying to get away from the pain, but it followed close behind. The drugs had worn off. She blinked and whimpered and slowly sat up. A passing nurse stopped and came in to check on her. Congratulations, she said. You're doing well. That burn is going to hurt for a while, but if you take the antibiotics and keep the wound clean, you'll be fine. You're lucky somebody was there to wash it off and neutralize the reaction. I've seen battery actually burns down to the bone. Claire nodded, not sure she could actually speak without throwing up. Her whole side felt hot and bruised. Do you want to get down? She nodded again. The nurse helped her down and gave her what was left of her clothes when she asked. The bra, cut through, was a total loss. The shirt, not much left of that either. The nurse came up with a loose black t-shirt from the lost and found and got her a presentable. And the doctor came around to give her a quick once-over. From the brisk way they dispensed with her, a little sulfuric acid burn was barely worth working up a sweat about. At least in Morganville. How bad is it? She asked Shane as he wheeled her through the halls to the exit. I mean, is it like really gross? Unbelievably gross, he said. Horror movie gruesome. Oh God. He relented. It's not so bad. It's about the size of a quarter. Your teacher guy did a good job chopping up your clothes and getting it away from your skin. I know it hurt like hell, but it could have been a lot worse. There'd been a lot more in the beaker in Gina's hand. Do you think she was going to? Pour it all on you? Hell yeah. She just didn't have time. Wow. That was unpleasant. She felt hot and cold and a little sick. It had nothing to do with shock this time. I guess that was Monica's payback. Some of it. Anyway, she'd be really pissed now that it didn't go over the way she thought it would. The idea of Monica being really pissed wasn't the best way to end the day. And it was the end of the day. She realized that Shane rolled her up to the automatic glass double doors. It was dark. Oh. Oh no. Yeah. Well, we've got our transport covered at least. Ready? She nodded. And Shane suddenly accelerated her chair into a flat-out run. Claire yelped and grabbed for the handles, feeling utterly out of control as the candled chair bounced its way down the ramp and skidded, to halt just inches from the shiny black side of Eve's car. Eve threw open the passenger door, and Claire tried to get up on her own, but Shane grabbed her around the waist and lifted her straight into the seat. It took seconds, and then he was kicking the wheelchair back toward the ramp, where it bumped into the railing and sat there, looking lost. Shane dived into the back. Punch it! He said. Eve did, as Claire struggled to find some kind of seatbelt setting that wouldn't reduce her to gasps and tears of pain. She set off a hunching forward, bracing herself on the massive dashboard, as Eve peeled out of the parking lot and raced down the dark street. The streetlights looked eerie and too far apart. Was that deliberate? Did the vampires control even how far apart they built the lights? Or was she just freaked beyond belief? Is he there? Shane asked, leaning over the seat back. Eve shot him a look. Yeah, she said. He's there. Don't put it in the middle of me in the middle of it. I have to work there, you know. I promise I won't take off your boss. She didn't believe him. That much wasn't clear. But Eve turned right instead of left at the next light, and in about 2 minutes pulled up at the curb in front of Common Grounds, which was ablaze with light. Crowded, too. Claire frowned, but before she could even ask, Shane was out of the car and heading inside the cop shop. What's he doing? Shane asked. Something stupid. How's the burn? Hurts, huh? Claire would have shrugged, but when she even thought about it, imagined the pain made her flinch. Not so bad, she said bravely, and tried to smile. Could have been a lot worse, I guess. I guess. Eve agreed. Told you classes were dangerous. We need to get this under control. You can't go back if this kind of thing happens. I can't quit. Sure you can. Eve said truthfully. People do it all the time. Just not people like you. Oh, damn. Eve bit her black painted lip, eyes wide and worried as she stared through the window at the bright lit interior of the shop. And after a few seconds, Claire saw what was worried about. David manager Oliver was standing at the window watching them right back, and behind him, Shane was pulling up a chair to the far corner table, where a dark shade was sitting. Tell me he's not talking to Brandon, Claire said. Okay. He's not talking to Brandon? You're lying. Yeah, he's talking to Brandon. Look, let Shane do his thing, okay? He's not as stupid as he looks, mostly. But he's not protected, right? That's why he's talking in Common Grounds. It's sort of a true spot. Vampires don't hunt there. Or they're not supposed to anyway. And it's where all kinds of deals and treaties and stuff get made. So Shane's safe enough in there. But she was still biting her lip and looking worried. Unless, Claire guessed, unless Shane attacks first. Self-defense doesn't count. Shane was being good, as far as Claire could see. His hands were on the table, and although he was bent over saying something, he wasn't slugging anybody. That was good, right? Although she had no idea what he could be saying to Brandon. Anyway, Brandon wasn't the one who had poured acid on her back. Whatever Shane said, it didn't seem to go down too hard. Eventually, Shane just shoved his chair back and walked out, nodding to Oliver on the way out. Brandon slid out from behind the table, dark and sleek, to follow Shane to the doorway, close enough to reach out and grab him. But that was just a mind game. Claire realized as she started to yell a warning. Brandon wanted to freak him out, not hurt him. Shane just looked over his shoulder, shrugged, and exited the coffee shop. When Brandon started to follow, Oliver reached across and put his arm in the way. By the time Brandon had snarled something at him, Shane was in the car, and he was already gunning it away from the curb. Do we need to be afraid now? She asked. Because I'd like a head start before the official terror alert goes up. Nope, we're clear. He sounded a little strange. Claire's got a free pass. Nobody's going to come after her, including Monica and her puppets. But why? Claire asked. Eve evidently didn't have to ask. She just looked grim and angry. We did a trade. Vampires are all about the one-up. You're such an idiot! Eve asked. I did what I had to do. I couldn't ask Michael. He wasn't... Shane bit off whatever he was about to say violently and got the anger in his voice under tight control. He wasn't around. Again. I had to do something. Claire wasn't kidding. They'll kill her, or at least they'll hurt her so bad she'll wish they'd finish it up. I can't let that happen. There was, Claire thought, a silent not again at the end of that. She wanted to turn and look at him, but it hurt too much to try. She tried to meet his eyes in the mirror and said, Shane, what did you promise? Nothing I can't afford to lose. Shane! But Shane didn't answer. Neither did Eve, although she parted her lips a couple of times and shut them without making a sound. The rest of the drive was done in silence, and once they pulled in up the curb, Eve got out and hurried up the walk to unlock the door. Claire opened the passenger door and started to get out. But again, Shane was there ahead of her, helping her up. Man, he was strong, and he had big warm hands. She shivered, and he immediately asked, Cold? But it wasn't that. Not that at all. Shane, what did you promise? She blurted, and grabbed his forearm. Not that he couldn't have pulled free, but he didn't. He just looked down at her. They were standing really close together, close enough she felt every nerve in her body fizz, like a shaking can of Coke. You didn't do something stupid? He asked. He looked down at her hand, and after a second he touched it with his own, just for a second, and then yanked away from her like she'd burned him. She'd been right. He could break free without even thinking about it. Yeah, that's what I'm good at. The stupid stuff. But for the best. Having two big brains in the house might get kind of crowded. When she tried to say something, he mentioned to her toward the house. Unless you want to hang this vein for rent sign around your neck, move already. She moved. The front door was open, and Shane followed behind her, close behind, until she was going up the steps. She didn't hear his footsteps anymore, and turned to look. He was standing at the bottom of the stairs watching the street. There was a vampire standing at the corner under the glow of the streetlight. Brandon. Just standing there, arms folded. He was leaning again. The lamp was like he had all the time in the world.